Good morning, Norfield. Good morning. What a great and glorious day this is. I want to start by saying happy birthday to Jenny Miller. And congratulations to the Boss family on their anniversary. 15 years. We are delighted that you are with us today. Would you join me in prayer? Well, God, open our hearts to your word, a word that passes swiftly and faithfully from the ear to the heart, from the heart to life. Amen. For narrating me, as you've heard, this is a season of new beginnings as we begin our 9th year as part of the Norfield family and welcome our now 3-day-old grandson, Christopher Daniel, to the world and to our family. And as you've heard, we are not alone, as Reverend Kelly and her husband John and their son Sammy welcomed their now 5-day-old son, Simon Robert, to their family and to the Norfield family and to the world. What a special gift. And I love the way Reverend Kelly put it in her email when she said, how good God has been to our Norfield family. 2 healthy boys weighing exactly the same, 36 hours apart. It's a new beginning for both our families, and she says we are beyond blessed. In Norfield, it is a season of new beginnings for us as we begin our 255th year as a community of faith, and recommit to working together to continue this congregation's historic mission to be the bright light of love and hope, shining and sharing the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ in this community. Some of you may recall the old TV series Cheers. Cheers was a sitcom about people who gathered regularly in a Boston bar. Here is a point of trivia about Cheers you may or may not know. Cheers retains the distinction of having what has been called the greatest TV series theme song of all times. And you remember the words, making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. Of course, that theme song referred to a bar in Boston, a place people gather to find love and to belong. But I submit to you this morning that the place to go and love and grow is the church, God's church, the church of the living God. And I believe people are looking for that kind of a place where they can be part of a family, a place where they can be welcomed and accepted no matter who they are or where they are on their life's journey. The church is called to be the place where we can be ourselves, where we can be vulnerable. The church is a place where the walls and barriers we erect to protect and defend our fragile egos can be dismantled, and we become part of God's family, the church. And in our text this morning that Jackie read so wonderfully for us, from Paul's letter to Timothy, Paul says, I am writing these words to you so that you will know that the church is the family of God, and so that you will know how people should live and behave when they are part of God's family. Because, he says to Timothy, the church is God's family, and it is the place that holds God's truth. It's too bad. It's just too bad that we have become so obsessed with me, myself, and I, that our me obsession blinds us to the challenges all around us. Wars that never seem to end. Famine and poverty we can't seem to solve. Violence in our cities and towns, disease, drugs, despair, domestic abuse, greed, and more greed. And because we are so self-focused, the call to be the church and show the world what God's love is all about gets muddied and muddled along the way. But being part of the family of God is about caring, compassion, and not just about me, but about how we relate to one another. You know what I tried to share with you this morning in that song entitled Open Our Eyes is to remember that the church is always a community of believers in covenant and in communion with one another, because we are part of a family that depends on one another for its very existence. Think of it this way. You can't be a football player without a football team. You can't be a tuba player without a band. What's a bee without a beehive? And we can't be Christians in isolation. We need one another if we are to be the church. And that is why Paul tells Timothy, I am writing these words so that you will know that the church is God's family, and so you will know how people should conduct themselves when they are part of the family of God. I love this story about a hunter walking through the jungle who came upon a big, ferocious rhinoceros lying dead. And standing proudly beside the now dead rhinoceros, with one foot on the horn of the dead rhinoceros, was a man from one of the various ethnic groups whose adults grow no taller than 4 feet 11. The hunter was flabbergasted and asked, "Did you kill that rhino?" "Why, yes," the small-statured man replied. "But how could a little fellow like you kill a huge beast like that?" The little man explained, "I killed it with my club." The astonished hunter said, "Wow, how big is your club?" And the little man replied, "Actually, there are about 90 of us in our hunting club. We meet once a week for coffee, tea, and wine." There is power in being part of this family we call the church. And my sisters and brothers, it is a power that cannot be matched at home, watching Meet the Press, by meditating under a tree, or by swinging a golf club on the best course in the country. I better leave that one alone. We are members of the church of the living God. And Paul says the church is like the body, and each of us functions as a part of this body. Paul then uses a humorous analogy to make his point, saying, if the body is all eye, how will it hear? And if it is all ear, how can it smell? Can you imagine eye telling hand, "Get lost, I don't need you"? Or head telling foot, "You're fired, your job has been phased out"? Paul says, every member of the church is needed. The fact that we are different with different gifts is a gift of God. The universe God created is diverse. And that means diversity is a gift of God. And the fact that we come from different places and hold different perspectives and opinions and can still gather together as the family of God is something we ought to celebrate. The church is the place that brings us together. It is the place where we can find friends when we feel like giving up. The church is the place where we can find encouragement when we can't seem to carry our burdens alone. And the church is the place where we can share our tragedies and triumphs, our failures and successes, and the place where we can grow in our faith with people who care. And that happens when we take the time to spend time together in worship, in prayer, in Bible study, and in the work to which the church is called. Paul tells Timothy, I'm writing these words so that you will know how to live as part of the family of God. Some of you have heard me share the first time I gave a sermon. I was only 8 years old. My pastor, Reverend Cunningham, asked me to speak one Sunday night, and I spoke from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter. And I probably spoke for about 3 long, torturous minutes for both me and the congregation. But when I finished, the pastor said, "Brother Bernard, what a great job." The church members gathered around me and said, "Brother Bernard, you are going to be a great preacher someday." That night they hugged me and loved me and did what the church does best. They encouraged me to be faithful in my faith journey. Norfield, today is Homecoming Sunday. And Homecoming Sunday is a celebration of our past and the hope we have in what tomorrow holds for this congregation. You know, the church isn't always the place we want it to be. We want church to be an easy place to come to. We want church to be a place where anyone can walk in and get it without thinking much about it. We want the church to be a place where all of the hymns are always our favorites. We want the church to be a place where the sermons are short, succinct, and don't leave us feeling uncomfortable. We want church to work and work well, but without us having to pay the price. But Jesus tells us that there is a cost to being the church. There's a cost to being part of the family of God. And Norfield, that's what I want to ask you to do this morning as we kick off our new program year, to step up to the plate and pay that cost. And the cost isn't always about dollars and cents. The cost is about your faith commitment. Imagine how easy it would be for our nominating committee to get people to sign up by telling them it's easy. It won't cost you anything. In fact, you don't have to do anything when you become a member of one of the church's boards or ministry teams. You don't even have to show up for the meetings. But we all know that isn't true. So I'm asking you this morning to make the decision and the commitment to join in helping to make Norfield second to none. Norfield, we need you to commit to our children and our discovery hour. We need you to come and sing in the choir. Norfield needs you to think about our stewardship campaign and what it means to give, not till it hurts, but till it feels good. Will you look around at our buildings and grounds and help us to secure our facilities for generations yet to come? You know in your heart of hearts that if there is anything that can speak to you, anything that can make a difference in your life, it will not come in 3 easy steps without a cost. It will not be some simple slogan on a bumper sticker, but it will demand something of you. It will come with a price. And Jesus showed us the price he was willing to pay for us by giving his life on a cross. Surely the price we are asking to pay for following Jesus is a lot less. And remember this, the church is not just a place we come to. The church is a family we belong to. It is a place where we can become more than we are. Norfield, the best gift we can give ourselves as we celebrate this homecoming and this year is the gift that keeps on giving, ourselves. And if we're willing to give of ourselves in the name of the God who loves us no matter what, God will honor our gift and honor it for generations to come. Welcome home, Norfield. It's time to get to